Police have finally charged a man in connection to the murder of Tupac Shakur in 1996. I think he was only 25 years old, and what he was able to achieve in that time, none of us can compare. It felt like there was a cover-up and that we would never find out the truth because so many people were involved in this. They blame P Diddy.
The emotions in the room were so powerful that I could scarcely breathe. The prosecutors were smiling from ear to ear. Diddy's defense team looked like they had seen a ghost. And DIY himself sat there frozen like a statue before dropping his head into his hands. Although everyone believes that Paca Shanks was just condemned to life in prison, there was something fishy about the expression on his face as the decision was announced.
You can't give it "I told you so" and it took you 27 years, mate. It's still sorry it took this long, but at least we got the guy. You don't get to gloat now. This man's doing a victory lap. Who's laughing now, huh? Still the criminal. He spent the majority of his life as a free man. He was just about to collect his old age pensioner bus pass, and now you're locking him up. His life's basically over anyway.
Our goal at LBMPD has always been to hold those accountable and responsible for Tupac's violent murder accountable, just like we do for every homicide victim in our city.
He's just really using this as an opportunity to do a bit of good PR. So let's go back to the cop now who found Tupac at the scene of the crime and actually held Tupac as he took some of his last conscious breaths. Check this out. This man doesn't live far from P Diddy. They lived like a couple of streets away from each other. And this is the guy who was investigating the case. They always say it's the one closest to you.
Most everybody who is involved in this whole incident is dead at this point. So I think, you run your mouth, you talk yourself into a search warrant. Maybe you've even talked yourself into a murder charge. We don't know that yet.
We do now because he has been charged with murder and they have found bullets in the house. Bullets that potentially could link him to the murder. It's unlikely after 27 years that they'd be the same bullets, but apparently they potentially are from a similar gun and they're going to obviously run those checks. The reason this gets even more interesting now is because of who P Diddy is linked to. There was always speculation that P Diddy was the one who was ordering the hit on Tupac because they'd had long-standing beef. Tupac was talking mad shit about him, and also P Diddy publicly had put a warrant out for a death row chain that they all used to wear. He put money out saying, if you bring me one of those, I'm going to give you whatever it was. And you don't get chains like that but peacefully, yeah? So he'd already made threats in that way. And the problem for P Diddy is P Diddy has publicly spoken about looking after P Diddy.
Diddy, who usually exudes cool, collected elegance, was shaken that moment. The courtroom was so quiet that you could hear Diddy's heart pounding out of his chest. He gripped the edge of the table as though it were a life-threatening situation, and he was lost in his seat, his knuckles turning white from the pressure. When the reality of that sentence finally set in, Diddy slumped back in his chair, his head falling into his hands, and you could see his shoulders trembling, giving the impression that the weight of the world had just fallen on him. His voice broke due to emotion. He was allegedly heard muttering beneath his breath. According to witnesses, this is a long cry from the confident Diddy that we are all familiar with.
You could indict a ham sandwich, but the Southern District of New York has a 98.2 conviction rate. All right, for those who don't know, if you got 100 people, only 1.28 or something like that, 1.8, only 1.8 has won against them. So now, what they do, they already got the witnesses, they already got the people, because let me just say something. With the sex trafficking thing, it only takes one witness to convince the jury. One witness. And we know who that witness is going to be. Cassie. She filed a civil suit against him. So it only takes one, in the sex trafficking charge, it only takes one witness. Now we got other people like Jonathan Odie, who was one of the sex workers, that he gave a testimony, or he gave some information to some agents that he was working, doing sexual acts with Cassie, cross states, going back and forth, this, that, and the third. So it only takes one witness. So now, the reason they haven't went after him because it's more to get into. It's more to get into. It's not only the sex trafficking, it's the guns, the alleged drugs. And I'm saying alleged because they haven't came out with any formal charges yet. But when they come out with some charges, bruh, and you hit it, the Southern District of New York do not play. And people don't play with them. So I don't understand why this stuff ever even got to this point, but it is what it is. It is what it is, bro. The reason they haven't came down and got him yet, they going through his taxes. You hear what he said? They had all the people that he did business with. That they're gonna go through everything that he did with a fine-tooth comb. And when they set that and they get what they call discovery to his lawyers, he either say, I'm gonna take the time, because if he go to court with it, 9 times out of 10, he gonna spend the rest of his life behind bars. So the reason they haven't did it at this point, it's a lot of paperwork, bro. They got a lot of people working different angles. They got the drug angle. They got the tax angle. They got the, what else? They say the drugs, the tax, and then they got the guns that were found. They got to do a trace on the guns that they were found in the house. And then if you got 250 cameras, there's a lot of footage that them agents got to go through. So they got a lot of work to do, bro. They got a lot of work. But they took how many years to indict Keefe D? They took a lot of years to indict Keefe D. And now he's sitting in jail. So they got a lot of work to do, bro. And it ain't gonna happen overnight. So I would think that probably in the next two months or so, you might be looking at something, bro.
Diddy may have been hoping for a sympathetic face or some other type of support, but all he saw were astonished faces and pitying stares. At that moment, you could see the real seriousness of his predicament strike him. Diddy glanced up as the soldiers moved in to take him away, his eyes streaming with unexpressed tears. The guy who had the whole world at his disposal would now live out the rest of his days behind bars. Even though Diddy is powerless in the face of the law, you can be sure that he won't give up easily. His legal team is undoubtedly already planning an appeal, so everyone is wondering what will happen next. Will he be able to buy his way out of this, or is his empire going to fall apart? Diddy appeared to be completely crushed, a shell of his former self as he was carried out of the courtroom with his head hung low and his trademark swagger nowhere to be seen.
And you said that Diddy, he got over 250 cameras?
He had over 200, they found over 250 cameras in his house, man.
Damn.
Allegedly. That's what they were saying.
So you do believe that Diddy is going to prison?
Oh, he going to jail, bro. And yo, and I don't wish jail on nobody, on the for real. I don't wish jail on nobody. You understand? But they already got their star witness. And you only, for one charge, for the sex trafficking, you only need one witness. One witness. That's crazy. I don't believe R. Kelly, you see what they did to R. Kelly? He went to jail for sex trafficking. He was dating those girls. Those girls was living at his house. Those girls was going back and forth with him willfully. How the hell did he get sex trafficking? And Diddy don't. Based on Cassie paperwork.
Do you think Diddy would chase some people down with him if he get arrested?
Oh my man, come on. His daddy was a rat. Hold on, let me just, I know this ain't got nothing to do with, but I'm gonna tell his story. It was this gangster, right? He said, when you go there, kill the father and kill his son. And the guy said, his son is only a baby, 4 years old. He said, his father was a rat and he gonna grow up to be a rat too. It ain't no way that he gonna go down, you understand, and not take nobody with him. His father was murdered because he ratted out his team that he was working for. So you think he not gonna rat? Like father, like son, brother. That's what I believe.
Wow, man. I didn't know that. So Diddy dad was a rat?
My man, I had a conversation with New York Freddie. Omar took me to a meeting because New York Freddie wanted to talk to me. He said, yo, I've been trying to get in touch with Russell Simmons, and I've been trying to get in touch with Puff, because I wanted to tell him the true story about his father. You understand? I said, yeah. And now this is New York Freddie, one of the biggest gangsters in Harlem. Puff's father used to work for his team. He was brought in by one of his best friends. So he's telling me the story how Russell Simmons used to work for him. You understand? He said, Russell Simmons used to take my laundry, to the cleaners and everything. He said, I had a glass table with $1 million in my office. I had $1 million in a glass table. You know what I'm saying? Of $100 bills in a glass table. I said, yeah. He's telling me this whole stuff. He said, Russell Simmons used to work for me because I was starting a record label back then. I said, okay. And if you look up New York Freddie Myers, you can see when he was picked up with a whole lot he had stacks of money in his house in the basement in Mount Vernon. So he said to me, yo, we had cops on the payroll. He gave a cop, one of the cops brought information. He had the paperwork and he had Puff father take confession. He gave him $10,000 extra for it, right? Puff father told on their operation. New York Freddie told the guy who brought Puff father into his crew, you gotta handle it. I want it handled. So then he said, I want it handled. So now the dude handled the situation. Puff father was driving the cab. He met him on Central Park West and did what he did. And so I said to New York Freddie, I said, yeah? He said, and the guy who killed him was carrying the casket, crying the hardest at the funeral. I was like, oh. Now, check this out. I was gonna tell this story on my members only page on my YouTube channel, The Gene Deal Show. Only my members, hey, but I'm gonna give it to you. It's this lady that told me she was dating Puff father at the time, right? She was dating Puff father at the time. She said she was waiting on him because they were supposed to be going out to Smalls Paul. It was either Small Paul, she said, or it was this place up there on McCoon's Bridge. I got it because she texted this whole thing to me, bro. It's crazy how she texted me this whole story. She said that she never knew why Puff father was killed. He said the word got through Harlem that he was murdered. You understand? And she went up to the bar the next day, and the same dudes was on his team that he worked with him, sold drugs with him. New York Freddie and their whole crew. He said they was in the bar laughing and talking like nothing had ever happened. She said, thank you, Gene, for telling me that story about New York Freddie and Diddy father, because now I know what happened to him. So Melvin Combs was a rat. And these guys, this came from a gangster himself, you understand, who said he had police on the payroll.
Now that P Diddy is facing life behind bars, everyone's world is about to turn upside down. The question on everyone's mind is what's next for the hip-hop mogul? Well, buckle up, because the road ahead looks bumpier than a ride a hoopie on a dirt road. First things first, Diddy's powerful legal team is already formulating an appeal strategy. They're going to be working overtime, burning the midnight oil to find any loophole, technicality, or get out of jail free card they can find. Let's be honest though, overturning a life sentence isn't easy even for a man with Diddy's resources. In the interim, Diddy will have to swap his luxurious lifestyle for a 6x8 cell shared with a cellmate who probably ain't going going to beat the days of private plan and VIP events are long gone. Instead, it's all commissioner snacks and collect calls. However, D's personal life won't be the only thing suffering. D's team will need to step up significantly to keep his brands and businesses from collapsing. Let's not forget about the music. The questions that will keep the industry buzzing are whether Diddy can continue to record while serving a life sentence, whether his label will support him or let him go, and whether this will seriously hamper his career. Diddy's empire, which is based on music, fashion, and entertainment, is about to face its biggest challenge to date.
You know what I know, 50? I know 50. And I know you. You understand? If I gotta put my house up, if I gotta put my car, my jewelry, I'm putting my shit up on 50. I'm not gonna put it on you. I'm just telling you what I know. 50 hit that nigga so hard, man. He won't wake up to the middle of next week. He gets on here and he wanna defend Diddy, defend him. You might be on some of them tapes. 9 times out of 10, you good at making tapes. You know the tapes that you made before in the past that made the internet. I'm not gonna speak on that, Mighty, not at all. You understand? Because he's got a young lady that's doing her thing in it and she don't need to be spoken on. But, you know, everybody who knows what I'm talking about, they know the tapes that made the internet with Stevie J before. You know what I mean? So, for him to come to Puff defense, you don't have nothing. He gotta come to his defense. Heard he lost his house, heard he lost this, that, and the third, the whole 9 yards. He's staying with a grown man at another man's house. So, what else he gonna do? Puff said, y'all come to my defense? He's the only one came to his defense.
In the tape that she was referring to, and you don't have to go into detail about it, I think most people would know what she was talking about, but she was referring to the sex tape between Stevie J and Eve, right? And I don't know if this is true, you can tell me, but I heard that he leaked it, right?
Allegedly, yeah, he's the one who leaked it. Want to be into something, you know what I'm saying? That's how those cats do, bro. They want to be, they sit back and because this is the new form of entertainment and regular dudes are getting more views than they are, they get mad and they get upset. You understand what I'm saying? They get mad and they get upset because this is the new form of entertainment and a lot of people are blowing them out the water now. And they want to say crazy stuff when in fact, they wouldn't breathe hard if you was in the room with them.
Yeah, that's real talk. And I was checking out one of your lives and you made a comment saying that, you know, Diddy, his ship is sinking fast because the only person that's coming out to defend him is Stevie J.
Well, Diddy did a post and he said, speak now or forever hold your peace. And he sent the message to everybody that he did business with or everybody that was around him. Y'all talk, y'all speak on me. Y'all let everybody know what y'all know about me or whatever, this, that, and the third. And if they talking negative, straighten them out based on our relationship. So he put that message out there. So now people are saying, nah, bro. Like Ray J. Ray J say, yo, people want to know what it is. Because if the federal government is asking questions about you, having some pedophilia or having sex with little boys underage, why would I want to be connected to that? Why are they even asking that type of question about you? So now he's telling people, yo, speak on me, speak on me. Now people like, no, we don't even know what the charge is. We don't know what they got on you. So the safe thing for me to do is to stay away from you until we know. I'm not gonna mess, they saying I'm not gonna mess up my brand. I'm not gonna mess up me getting money because what the internet is gonna do is that anybody that speaks up for them, they're gonna automatically think they had something to do with it.
You can bet that as the reality of his situation sinks in, Dee's mind will be racing with thoughts about his family, his legacy, and his future. Will he ever leave the country again? Will his children grow up without their father? These are the heavy considerations that are undoubtedly weighing on him as he sits in that cell. The streets are weighing on him. However, as you are all aware, Danny is a warrior who has overcome adversity in the past. Perhaps this is just another challenge for him to overcome, or perhaps this is the end of an era and the decline of a hip-hop titan. Fans and detractors are reacting on social media in droves, and everyone in between is undoubtedly calling Diddy's famous buddies to provide support or get inside information. Not to mention, paparazzi are waiting outside the courthouse, eager to jump on any juicy tidbit.
Oh my God. Benjamin Braffman, he left. Either it's because his client didn't take his information, because I don't see how they even let this get to court with Cassie. You understand? She only wanted $10 million. You knew what she was putting into that lawsuit. And then you try to, one day after she filed it, pay her off and stop it. He didn't take his Benjamin Braffman legal advice, and he saw that, yo, this shit is about to be a forest. I ain't gonna be a part of this, and I'm gonna leave. Because nobody's talking about this legal team, you understand, about what they did or didn't do. But right now, he had 18 companies, all of them parted away from him. The IRS is looking at him. The federal government is looking at him. Now they trying to go into court and say because his company wasn't existed at that time of some of the alleged rapes, that what we're gonna do is we want them to take the companies out of the lawsuit. But check this out, bro. Do you ever think of this? Why did he put everything in his mom and his son's name? Did he know that he was doing some things behind the scene? Or did he know that some things was going on in his life that may bring it to this point where people be trying to sue him? But everything is in Justin's name and everything is his mama's name? Did he know that? Because when you're a grown man, you want to own some things. You understand? You want to own some things. You want to have companies in your name, companies in this, that, and the third. But he put it in his mom and his son's name? And his daughters now? I don't know, bro.
How you feel about the comments that Suge made about Diddy? He made a comment saying that, it's nothing to cheer about, seeing what, Diddy is going through right now. It's a bad day for hip hop.
Well, I think Suge was being admirable to, and he didn't say Puff was an enemy or anything like that, but I think he was being admirable because he knows Puff is a father, Puff is a businessman, and Puff is a black man. I think he was very admirable, and he was being somewhat forgiving. But like I told you, I heard Puff say, I don't give a F if Pop gotta die. I don't give a F if Big gotta die. And Suge Knight can go to jail. And I said this before. That could have been some self-fulfilling prophecy he had. I don't know. Or it could have been something that he heard from the handlers or the people above him. I don't know. But I do know it came out of his mouth. You understand what I'm saying? I do know it came out of his mouth. And for Suge to be that admirable, and speak kind of him, he's more forgiving than I could ever be. That forgiveness is, you go to your God, you go to Jesus for that. You understand? And I'm not saying Puff put him in jail or had anything to do with him going to jail or anything like that. But the atmosphere that both of them created at that time may have caused both of their demise today. So I don't have too much to say about it, but I think I said enough.
But what do you personally think Diddy meant by that when he made them comments about Big and Pop?
Well, I knew he was mad and upset because he just had ran from Pac and Suge and from Soul Train. So I know it was out of anger because he kept on saying, I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of this shit. You understand? I'm tired of living my life like this. You understand what I'm saying? So I know it was out of frustration. It was out of anger. So I was at a shock because when he walked up the steps after he said it, my man looked at me and he said, yo, he said big. He didn't say nothing about Pac. He didn't say nothing about Suge. He said, yo, that nigga said big. And I was like, right, he did say big.
It feels like the world stopped spinning for a second when the news broke. Everyone, speaking their native tongue, has something to say about this shocking revelation on social media, which is expanding faster than a 4th of July fireworks display. The streets are alive with people reacting to Diddy's life sentence, and the weather is scorching. Twitter users who support their fallen hero are sharing flashbacks and echoing some of his most famous quotes, such as "There's no way Diddy is going out this way and the king will rise again." Hashtags like "liberated Diddy or else" and "Diddy strong" are trending. Here in CH, the loyalty is genuine and it's a true savage fest. However, the haters are also out in full force, celebrating as if it's New Year's Eve and talking about how money can't buy everything and how karma finally caught up with him. The memes are also going viral faster than a tube in a hurricane.
Let me just say this to you. It's not one victim in the complaint. And I've been on Art of Dialogue. I got over 10 interviews on Art of Dialogue probably. I probably got over 10 interviews with you, Mike.
More than that, actually.
All right. But there's not one individual that ever came and said, this guy I seen on YouTube was the one who held the door. This guy I seen on YouTube is the one who helped Puff do anything. Like Suge Knight said, and thank you for that, Suge. Suge Knight said, this was not the Puffy we know back then. All this came when he started moving out to California, when he moved out to California and started dealing with certain people, getting record deals, 10 million here. Yo, he got a record deal for $10 million and flopped and came back and got another record deal and then turned in an album for $10 million and it flopped. Why? Why? That's the nature of what he was doing because he was willing to go through those doors that people like Christopher Williams wasn't going through. Everybody heard the story. Everybody just ain't willing to talk about it. And if it ain't, that's their choice. But for these people who sit up there and run their mouth and talk about what I should do or I should go to jail, they just making that stuff up for content because they don't have no stories. They didn't live the life I didn't live. They wasn't there. They wasn't around. People didn't come to them and ask them to do certain things. You understand what I'm saying? So they mad. They upset that the Art of Dialogue didn't make Fox. The Art of Dialogue didn't make TMZ. The Art of Dialogue didn't make what was that? What was that other news program? Nightline. All these different things. They upset. No, get your content up. So it don't matter. I'm good. Name when I ever said I saw him do something. I told you I went to the hospital. Yeah, I see Kim face is bruised. You understand? She in the hospital with her man. He about to, he bleeding, profusely. Profusely. He bleeding crazy from his wrist with a t-shirt wrapped around it because she took a corkscrew and said, yo, you hit me again. I wasn't there. I was told to go to the hospital to bodyguard him. You understand what I'm saying? I told people when him and Kim was in the room, he doing that play fight and shit like that, and she come out, I'm like, yo, you all right? She said, I'm good. And she'll stay out there, out the room for a little while, then she'll go back in. But I'm never gonna see him or nobody else. I ain't never been that type of dude. You're not gonna abuse no kids around me. You're not gonna abuse no women around me. And that's point blank. So they can say what they want to say, bro. You know what it is? It gives them content to talk about, to make up shit. Well, if this happened, if that happened. If ands and buts with candies and nuts, Christmas would be every day. But it's not, brother. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's real talk. Great response too, by the way. Tell me about the time that you took 2 females to Mike Tyson.
You want to know that story?
Celebrity responses are rolling in like waves on South Beach. Jay-Z is amazing. Kenny and other well-known figures are helping out at this difficult period. Back then, 50 Cent posted a photo of himself and Diddy along with the caption, which Nicki Minaj tweeted, "My brother Diddy, love and light. Remain resilient." Alistair isn't the only one speaking out, however. King We Got Your Back even had to write her a note expressing her condolences for Sean and his family. The ones who are assaulting other individuals, including his ex, are Diddy's day ones. I am aware of the true you, and your story is far from over. On a picture of the two of them from a flashback, Cassie commented, "My son Christian comes in an appointment message. It's a real family affair up here, and little Kane Cole is leading the group in support. They're writing tributes, exchanging memories, and pledging to uphold the bad boy tradition at all costs. Kane Cole has promised to keep things going for the family while his father is away."
Back in the day, I used to work for the Harlem Madam. The Harlem Madam was this young lady who would go to clubs and girls who was looking to make extra money for being escorts, she would hire them to do work for them. You know what I mean? So this one particular time, I had actually, when KG from Naughty by Nature, brother had came home from college, and y'all know what college I'm talking about, I took a few girls to his party. You understand? So the same woman that I worked for, she had to take, 2 girls had to go to Mike Tyson on 57th Street. Mike Tyson had a condominium down, I think it was 57th Street. And I took the 2 girls down there. This was a long time. This was in the 90s, early part, the mid 90s or something like that, when Mike Tyson was the man. So I wanted them to, you know, I had this Tyson shirt in my truck and I wanted them to sign it, but I was like, yo, that shit would be professional.
The streets claim that Diddy, the king of hip-hop, is only temporarily down, but despite all the mayhem, you know who hasn't been heard from since the sentence? Diddy has probably been trying to comprehend this new reality, but like Diddy, he's already preparing his return. The question on everyone's mind right now is what Diddy's future holds given the life sentence hanging over his head. Some in the streets believe this could be the end of an era, but don't count him out just yet because Diddy is a hustler, a survivor, and a force of nature. He has overcome adversity in the past and will do so again. No prison self can contain SCK's spirit. You feel me, girl?
He said that's when Diddy stood up, because Diddy didn't want to talk to him at first. But when he said that, he said Diddy was responsive now.
I was checking out one of your lives, right? And you made a comment and you said that you rather be poor than be Diddy rich. Can you elaborate on that?
Bruh, I told this to this one guy the other day. I'd rather have a slow nickel than a fast dollar any day. My slow nickel put bread on my table. My slow nickel pays my mortgage. My slow nickel brings me home to my family. My slow nickel builds a community. We see what the fast dollar does. Being Diddy rich takes a guy that once name was Puffy, that after every tragedy he had in his life, he had to change his name. Puffy, Puff Daddy, Diddy, Brother Love, Love. Puffy, from the DC tragedy, went to when those kids was trampled over. I think 1 or 2 kids died at a function in DC that he gave. Puffy. City College.
There will certainly be difficulties for DA's empire, but he has a solid crew behind him, so maybe they can keep the ship AF level while the boss is gone. Who knows? Perhaps this experience will spark some fire. At the end of the day, Diddy's future is in the hands of the legal system, but he is allowed to have an influence on the game, which is something that can't be locked up. New music from the Bad Boy Gang, whether you like him or not, Mary's has had a significant impact on hip-hop culture.
If they bring Diddy into court, all on sex trafficking, all you need to land a conviction for sex trafficking is one witness. They have one witness that made complaints about him. Can she be broken down in a good lawyer? Maybe she can. Maybe she can. But Cassie is their eyewitness and they star witness. Along with Jonathan Odie. All you need is one witness to prove sex trafficking.
Gene Deal, great interview, my guy.
Yo, it'll be better when that indictment come down. Yep. I'm gonna go through it with a fine-tooth comb.
The internet gonna be on fire when that shit happen, man.
No doubt. Yep. Just even the arrest for him to appear in court is gonna be a fight for them to read the charges. Because they gotta charge him, brother. They went in his house. They took all that shit out. They have to charge him. If not, that's a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against the federal government.
If you would want to understand more about the Diddy scandal, watch our video and leave your thoughts in the comments area below. Do you believe this is the end of Diddy's story? The world waits to place bets on Diddy's future. Those who truly know that this is just another chapter in his story, whether they love him or not, can't deny the influence he's had on the game. And that baby is the T scandal, which uncovers shocking stories about Diddy's adopted daughter and how he used her for more tea on the Bad Boy dynasty. You already know that this narrative is far from done, so keep watching.